Hello, I'm Alex Gupta with UATV. Today I'm speaking with Bojan Al Pinto. He was with the Forum for International Relations in Belgrade, Serbia. Hello, Bojan. Welcome to UATV.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
Oh, very well, very well. Today we have breaking news that Aleksandar Vučić, the president of Serbia, has nominated a new person for prime minister. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about her and what the implications of this decision are?
Well, Ana Brnabić, that's the name of the prime minister designate, is a long-time figure in business and non-governmental organizations. And she had a long affiliation with primarily US companies. So that's considered to be a shift to the West. And she's considered to be not only President Vučić's candidate, but also a candidate that is leaning towards EU integration and closer ties with the West.
From the people you were speaking to in Belgrade and around Serbia, what are they saying about this nomination? What is the feeling?
It's a very brave nomination from the president. Ana Brnabić has almost no political background, and she never ran in any elections. But she's been a minister of local administration with the government of Serbia for the past year, and her portfolio was doing fine, and some of the reforms she conducted were judged as very successful. So I would say that the overall reaction is very positive.
Is she seen as a reformer in Serbia?
Very much so, but she's seen as someone who has not been involved in politics and has very little to do with any public news or reporting about any potential scandals. So she's considered to be an outsider introduced by the president in the game that he trusts very much. And also she's got some business and personal contacts that may be valuable for the reform-minded part of the Serbian government.
We've seen reports that perhaps she was nominated because she will do whatever the Vučić says, that she's seen as a puppet by some.
She's got no political power at the moment. She's a non-party candidate, and the Serbian Progressive Party, President Vučić's party, is still to give her an official support. And there are a few other members of the ruling coalition. It's very questionable whether and how she would receive their support. But that's one angle to the news. The other is that she's got strong support from the president, and she's also got strong support from some diplomatic circles that are closely following Serbia's EU integration. So it would be fair to say that she is somehow a compromised candidate from the Serbian ruling coalition and those in Brussels that would like to see Serbia on EU path and making big steps.
How do people feel that she is a woman and that she is gay?
I don't think this is the main concern. The main concern would be that it is very little known any of her political positions. She basically never made any public declaration about any political issues. So her political position is the main concern. Also the fact that she never ran in any elections and she has no political affiliation whatsoever. These are the main concerns. The fact that she's a woman, no one is questioning that. Serbia was part of Yugoslavia, who had the female prime minister from 1982 to 1986. She was also a reformer, so this is not an issue. The fact that she's a gay, openly gay, that's a bit of an issue, but far lesser questioned by the public than the fact that there are very little that there is very little knowledge of her political positions.
Turning now to President Vučić, we've been reading that the presidency is more seen as a symbolic role. It doesn't have as much power as the prime minister. Is this true?
By constitution, Serbian president has very little executive authorities other than commanding the military in case of war and all that. But then the president is responsible for appointing the prime minister designate, and then the prime minister designate is due to win approval with the parliament. In this respect, the president is going to influence the ruling coalition to accept, namely his candidate for the prime minister, because there have been some consultations, and none of the persons involved in these consultations, which were representatives of the ruling coalition but also of the opposition parties, ever mentioned the name of Ana Brnabić. She is considered to be the president's handpick for the job. The president, however, is elected by popular vote, so his or her position is very strong with the electorate, and he or she have executive sort of authority to influence decisions.
Turning now to international relations, I travel to Belgrade quite a bit, and I know NATO isn't the most popular organization there. Is there any plan or any progress for Serbia to join NATO anytime?
Serbia is very closely working with NATO on a number of issues through the program Partnership for Peace and few other initiatives. Serbia is cooperating with NATO. Basically, all the neighboring states to Serbia are now part of NATO, including the recent member Montenegro. So there are no immediate plans for Serbia's accession to NATO on one hand, and on the other hand, it would be very difficult to place Serbia or to locate Serbia within any other military or political alliance. The question is mainly the sentiment, which is still strong following the 1999 conflict. But when you speak to the general public, most of the people in Serbia support close ties with Europe and close ties with the US. Most of the people in Serbia aspire to Western values and also to mainly the Western standard of life. So let's say NATO joining would be an issue which is out there in the air, but not officially perceived as the main strategic goal of Serbia as yet.
Is there a contradiction between NATO membership, aspiring to join NATO, even aspiring to join the EU, and close Russian ties?
Not really. Russia has repeatedly said that it is not against Serbia's EU membership. When it comes to NATO membership, of course, Russia would be against that. But Serbia hasn't gone public saying it would like to be part of NATO, so Russia was not able to openly be against this. And Serbia has officially repeated it would like to perceive military neutrality, and still this neutrality would need to be accepted by all parties, which is somehow beyond discussion at this stage.
I want to ask you, what are some of the risk factors for destabilization in the Balkans?
I think the ties between the organized crime, corruption, smuggling, even this crisis with refugees from Syria and the Middle East, these are all the risk factors, and the mafias in the states in the Balkans cooperate very closely, and it could be said that these are actually part of the same organization, just somehow geographically distributed. These are the risk factors. And then, of course, we've got nationalism and political extremism, but these are lesser factors because they are not supported by any serious funding. The only serious funding that could be provided to any political risks in the Balkans, namely, come from organized crime.
Is Kosovo and Serbia, are they working together? Is there becoming a closer relationship between the two nations?
Kosovo and Serbia are having an official dialogue under EU supervision, and this dialogue has been taking place, I think, for 4 years now, and there have been 2 agreements executed by heads of governments. So Serbia and Kosovo are going to a direction of normal relations between neighboring states. The question is whether Serbia will ever recognize Kosovo as an independent state, and whether there is enough will, political will in Kosovo to pursue this dialogue, because there is a sense in Pristina especially that Kosovo is getting nothing from this dialogue with Serbia, and Serbia is getting prospects of EU membership, which is also important for Kosovo, and Kosovo is not moving towards Europe at desired progress.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Bojan. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Alex Gupta with UATV. I was speaking with Bojan Al Pinto. He is with the Forum for International Relations in Belgrade, Serbia. You're watching UATV.